In today's show, the high flyer wowing fans and tackling the opposition, how coaches prepare. Hi, I'm Mark Bickley and welcome to The Crow Show, brought to you by the all-new Roadhouse Whopper and Roadhouse Jack's fried chicken at Hungry Jack's. Also joining us, Belinda Sloane.
Bix, no game would be the same without the banner. It's a labour of love for this team of dedicated fans. We'll chat to some of them shortly.
Now, we're in the players' meeting room at Adelaide Oval and this is a special extended edition of the show. Later, we'll be joined by some amazing guests who share with the Crows a passion for a great cause. But first, Shane McAdam is evoking memories of Tony Modra with some of his aerial marking feats. In fewer than 40 games, he's already taken many Mark of the Year contenders. As a teenager, his leaping ability was matched only by Nick Natanui.
Big buck up and the riser.
Back it goes again. McAdam!
Shoal bangs it. Huge leap, and he's pulled that down. McAdam. He sits it up. Can McAdam get the jump here? Got up. You bet he can.
Watching a lot of the older boys who like to fly back home, who like to just take hangers. Yeah, it was just more of a, as growing up as a child back home, you just always tried to race the bloke next to you, you're going to take the biggest mark. So yeah, it just comes natural now, which is good, I guess.
McAdam's down there again with access from the side. Oh, what a mark by McAdam!
That's a gift for Shane. I think he was born with it. Yeah, we want to encourage it, and the boys know, and they try and block for him just to get enough separation so he can run and jump at the footy.
Probably last year, maybe the North Melbourne one in the goal square.
I think Fogg had a shot on goal and a drop short, and yeah, Shane had a good run at it, and yeah, we went straight up, and it was probably the best one I've seen so far from him.
I think that's my favourite one in the Crows gear. In the Sandful one, start of the year, that was a nice one.
Is he going to give it off to a teammate? He'll kick it long down to the goal square. McAdam! McAdam with a fly, McAdam with a goal, and a highlight reel is Shane McAdam.
This year I think he looks a lot fitter. He's worked really hard in the gym and had a really good pre-season, and basically since he's been in the AFL side he's been fantastic. His work rate up and down the ground and his ability to pressure the opposition, as well as obviously find the footy and kick some goals, has been really pleasing.
Ever since I started playing footy, I've always been a good pressure player, so I want to try and bring that into AFL level. So just my tackles, pressures, just pressure around the footy, and yeah, not being beaten in a one-on-one contest.
Middleburg got a side on the footy. Henry, watch out. Here's McAdam slicing through. O'Connor can match him for pass, but he didn't bring the footy. McAdam did!
I think my year's been a bit more consistent this year, comparing the last couple of years.
I think his leadership has probably grown this year as well, his communication on the field, which we've been working on. He really is understanding the game now, and he's helping these young players around him.
Since being back into the team, yeah, I think I've been all right.
The most extraordinary, captivating drama is going down to the last. It's only one man to cover himself in glory. It's coming back. He's got there. The sins.
There's nothing like seeing the action live. Tickets are on sale now. Visit ticketek.com.au.
Now, coaches and analysts spend countless hours probing the opposition in readiness for the next game. With the help of Dr. Jones and partners, let's get a clearer picture of what's involved in dissecting an opponent looking for that winning edge.
In regards to the opposition for that week coming up, we tend to look at the last kind of 3 games or so. We might do some live, so we might do some travel if we can, or see them here if they're playing Port. We try to keep an eye on the trends of the game as well, more towards just a weekly opposition.
Opposition's generally early in the week. It's always post our review though, of course, from the previous game, but we filter it in, on a Tuesday or Wednesday, make sure we've got that information as a collective, and then we've got our main training session, which we can try and implement what we want to do on that weekend, the subtle changes or modifications that we need to take into that game.
Smartly inside 50, Rowe tracked it all the way and deserved a goal for that. Outstanding play, Jimmy Rowe.
So as a coaching group, we'll sit down probably a Monday afternoon or a Tuesday morning, see what the messaging will be through the week, how many edits we show. We'll go through some key players, we'll look at the last weekend, we'll look at injury reports, press conferences, all that type of thing, to really give us a well-rounded view of how they're going.
When we've got it right, incredible how the method, the predictability works.
Starts really wide with what we're looking at across all areas, and then the players get a really refined version of that. They might get 3 or 4 clips, that's about it. So these might be a bank of 5 edits. We'll show you the players, you know, some of their ball movement going through, using the corridor, what their offensive structure might look like and what they're going to challenge us with, and then where we can hurt them going back as well.
We certainly want to play a system and style week in, week out, and we don't want to alter that too much. But you've certainly got to be aware of what the opposition are going to bring each week. You don't want to get beaten by what you don't know. So there's a lot of information that we'll have as coaches. As the year goes, there might be randomly, we'll show 2 or 3 clips even from a team we're not playing, a team that's doing something very well that, you know, that's the next level that we've got to get to.
Pops it through to finish off a pretty satisfying day for the Adelaide Crows.
Stay with us. Later, Rory Sloane will chat to you about a cause that's close to the club's heart. But up next, Belinda takes us behind the banner to meet its makers.
For just a few seconds each week, the banner is a focus for footy fans all around the country. It's a moment of pride for this team of dedicated Crows supporters who spend hours planning and making it each week. Let's see how it's done. Peter, you've been president of the Crows supporters group for 5 years now. How many hands does it take to create one of these beautiful banners?
Oh, it just depends how many people are available. You know, upwards of 30 people at times we have come through. But generally we have our mainstay of 12, 13 people that work tirelessly to get it done. How much is involved into creating one of these banners? They're pretty big. Basically, I start here with a couple of people around 5:30, and most people come between 6 and 7, and we generally work through till about 10:30, 11 o'clock. Wow. Sometimes we've been well past midnight, but you know, we just do what we've got to do to get it done. Throughout the years, you've seen many banners. Is there one that sticks out as a favourite for you? As much as I hate to say it, the 2017 Grand Final banner. Oh, it hurts. I still think that was one of the better ones. Dorothy, I understand you've been doing this for 25 years.
I have. I started off cutting out years ago, then we progressed to doing the banner. And has it changed over the years? Yes, because once we used to have crepe paper and now we have the plastic and we have all the stuff you stick on the back. It's changed a lot. Now, is it a labour of love? Do you absolutely love doing this every week? People think I'm mad. We don't think you're mad. We're very grateful for the work you do. Because we come down and they say, oh, you're going down there again. I said, every week, no matter what, win, lose or draw, you know. And I think they think you're crazy, but we love it. Colleen, do you mind if I jump in here and have a go? Sure, no worries. So, how many years have you been doing this here for?
Probably 12 years now.
12 years?
Yeah, I reckon I've only missed about probably 6 or 7 over the whole duration.
And do you love it?
Yeah, I do love it.
What's the message on the banner this evening?
So for this week's game, it's we're back at home, ready to make you proud. Come on, Crows family, it's time to get loud. Raising the huge banner on game day sounds like a military operation. How many people does it take?
Safely, you can do it with 12, but preferably is 16. We're allowed 26 people. Wow. Hobart, we had a little bit of wind just recently, the game just gone, and I had 16 people on the banner there, and it worked fine.
Thanks for having us this evening, Peter.
Thanks, Belinda. Thanks for coming along.
Now, Vix, keep an eye out for the finished product at today's game, which proudly recognises the wonderful work of the EB Research Partnership.
The banner is certainly one of the great traditions of our game. Now, each week on the show, Tom Duday asks a teammate to recall their favourite Crows memory. We call them Hungry Jack's Whopper Moments.
Time for another Crows Whopper Moment presented by Hungry Jack's. Joined by Sammy Berry. How are you, mate?
I'm well, dudes. How are you going?
Very well. You're looking good. You've just come from the gym. You're looking big.
Yeah, a bit of gym. It was legs today though, so nothing too exciting.
So camera won't see it anyway.
Yeah.
It's a bit disappointing. What a waste of time.
All the work for what?
Anyways, mate, take us through your Crows Whopper Moment.
Yeah, my Whopper moment was round 1 of 2021. Now, it was probably just the final siren, but I think the whole game was pretty special. Obviously didn't do too well in 2020 and Geelong played in the flag, so it was a pretty good win.
And roll like you never have before!
It was huge. I remember the crowd at quarter time, like the standing ovation gives like shivers thinking about it. Your day, how did you think you went? Because I remember, the reason I'm asking, your pressure was electric all day, and I just wonder if you remember that.
Yeah, no, I think it was my first game, so I had a little bit of energy and adrenaline going on. I was pretty excited, but I tired very quickly. I think the cramping started happening in the third quarter, so
it was pretty damn exciting, wasn't it? Like, especially I imagine for your first game, like we hadn't had an atmosphere like that for a few years, but for your first game to come into this club and experience that crowd, that sort of win and what it meant, would have been pretty special for you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, with COVID as well, I hadn't really seen so many people in one place for a while. So.
True.
No, it was very, very cool.
Glad, mate. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Every time you attend an Adelaide Crows home game, you could score a free Whopper from Hungry Jack's. Simply download the Hungry Jack's app for your chance to win.
Local footy clubs are the lifeblood of grassroots football around Australia. As part of the Toyota Good for Footy program, we met some of the local heroes at Broadview Footy Club.
My name is Shannon Lenz. I'm the Junior President of the Broadview Football Club. Our club is so important to the local community because we provide an opportunity for locals to get out, have some fun with friends, meet new people and really enjoy the most of this beautiful oval that we've got here, and we've got a fantastic community that come here every week.
I'm Amelia Beagle and I play in the under-13 girls Broadview team. It's important to the local community so everyone gets to have a chance to try a different sport and to make new friends and to just like have fun.
Hi, I'm Piper Griffiths. I play in the under-13 Broadview team. I love playing here. It's such a great community and so welcoming and you just feel like at home.
Hello, my name is Zachary Hell and I play for Broadview Football Club and I'm the captain of the under-13s team. Personally, I like it when you're right next to all the family and friends, right on the boundary line, you take a good mark or you get a good tackle and all of them cheer for you. It's a really good moment for me.
In 2021, our club raised over $6,000 in the Toyota Good for Footy raffle. We're very excited because the money that we're raising is going towards brand new club rooms that would help our footballers come and celebrate their milestones within our club. Getting involved in the raffle was easy. Register online and share the link with as many people as we can and sell raffle tickets. It's fantastic because it's a way that we can actually generate funds for our club without too much effort. So we're back again this year in the raffle and we've got really high hopes to smash our sales from last year. We're looking to hit $10,000 in 2022, so hopefully all you Broadview people out there are going to get behind it.
The Toyota Good for Footy raffle is a free and easy way to fundraise for your local footy club, with 100% of proceeds going straight to local footy clubs around the country. Register now at toyotagoodforfooty.raffletix.com.au. Don't forget that shortly Rory Sloane will be joined by some well-known faces who all embrace a wonderful cause. But next, the pocket rocket, Ian Callanan. All Crows fans fondly remember Ian Callanan as a small man with a huge heart. In fact, at the time, Ian was the shortest player in the AFL, but boy, could he play. By the time he joined Adelaide in 2011, he was a 4-time premiership player with Central District, a Jack Oatey medalist and twice best and fairest. Thanks to Bendigo Bank. Let's find out what Ian's up to now.
Not doing much at the moment. Was lucky enough to coach last year and was lucky enough to coach the flag in my first year. So, but since my stroke, still struggle with the fatigue a little bit. So I thought it was a great option just to have 12 months out of footy and concentrate getting back to work full time. And obviously Jack, being 16 now, coming through the NAB League, it's a good opportunity to go and watch him and go and see how he goes. I'm still playing a bit of cricket. That's one thing that one of my goals when I had my stroke was to try and get back and play a bit of cricket, because most of the guys that I went to school with and my two brothers still get to play a bit of, they still play, so it's a great opportunity to play with them and still enjoy it. Yeah, it's really exciting today actually, especially for my young fella Harry, who's just about to turn 10. So he's getting the opportunity to run out with the boys today. He was pretty young when we left South Australia, so he knows a few of the boys, and he's really excited to run out. The boys have been really welcoming, even the guys that you haven't really met, because you've got a connection. And I was lucky enough to play a few games, but you've still got a connection with guys that have played before and after you. So it's been great. The mateship, it was just an unbelievable time to go to that footy club. Obviously they lost in 06 and I got there in 07 and we sort of went on a recruiting drive. I think it was me and about 4 or 5 others got there at the same time, and it was just a really professional footy club that trained hard. We loved having a beer together, but we had a lot of success along the way, so makes a hell of a difference when you're winning games of footy and obviously playing well in finals. I'll probably be your first one. Everyone says, I enjoyed every single one of them, but the first one you win was a great experience. I think we only lost 2 games for that year, and it was just unbelievable. It's something that I'll never ever forget.
What a player he was, as good a kick as any player who's ever pulled on the Crows Guernsey. Okay, time to look for our crow in the crowd. Keep those photos coming. If you take a shot of yourself or a friend at one of our games and post it to social media, make sure you use the hashtag WeFlyAsOne. Looking, let's settle on you. Please email facingthecrowd@afc.com.au with photo ID to claim your prize of 2 tickets to Toyota's exclusive Hilux Hill at Adelaide Oval. Matthew Nix has plenty on his mind, but that doesn't stop him joining us each week to answer a fan's question, all thanks to Flight Centre. This time, Daniel in Victoria wants to know what the coach hopes to take out of 2022.
Daniel, great question. Look, 2022, when you look at win-loss, we'd love to have some more on the board, and I'm sure our guys will put everything they can in place to get that done. But at the moment, our squad's so strong. Our young group is developing fast. It's what we believe we're going to see over the next year or so is some really quick development. And before you know it, we'll be challenging, the best sides in the competition week in, week out.
Now, always remember to keep an eye on @TheCrows on Twitter for the latest news. And don't forget the club's social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. That's all from me, but I'm going to hand over to Rory Sloane, who's teamed up with some well-known celebrities to raise awareness for a special cause.
Bix, as you know, the footy club loves helping out in the community wherever it can. We've partnered with a really important charity to help find a cure for a horrible disease. Hang around to find out more. Hello and welcome to this very special Crows show. As you know, the Adelaide Crows use the power of sport to engage, enrich and inspire the lives of children and youth across our community. Today we want to shine the light on those living with epidermolysis bullosa, or EB. Caused by a single gene mutation, EB is a life-threatening disease affecting children from birth. The suffering of EB can be excruciating, but thanks to the work of doctors and researchers around the world and right here at home, there is hope. A cure will be found. At the forefront of this mission is EB Research Partnership, the largest global organisation dedicated to funding research to treat and find a cure. And here to share more is Pearl Jam frontman and EBRP co-founder and my favourite musician of all time, Eddie Vedder.
This is Eli. This is Mikey. And this is Tilly. They are each curious, creative, and loving. And they are also some of the strongest people you will ever meet. Born with epidermolysis bullosa, or EB, their strength comes from a profound understanding of pain. Until you meet someone with EB, that pain can be hard to understand.
My brave mom. You are the bravest guy I know, bud.
Epidermolysis bullosa affects the body's largest organ, the skin. People with EB are missing vital proteins that bind the skin together. Without these, the skin tears apart, blisters, and shears off, leading to pain, disfigurement, and wounds that may never heal. They call it the butterfly disease because their skin is said to be as fragile as a butterfly's wings. This is the experience of 500,000 people living with EB worldwide. And because of a lowered life expectancy, they are mostly children, just like Eli, Mikey, and Tilly. But this is changing. What started as the mission of 3 families living with EB has turned into a bold and innovative movement. Over the years, EBRP has partnered with brilliant researchers and doctors, leading to more than 10 times the amount of clinical trials. And now, we are pioneering a new model for how disease can be cured: venture philanthropy. We don't just write checks and hope for the best. We invest in the most promising projects. When that research proves successful, we use the return on investment to fund even more research until a cure is found. And now EBRP is a global endeavor, ensuring that science does not sleep and research happens 24/7. Curing EB is not an if, it is a when. Scientists know EB's genetic target and are studying cutting-edge techniques like gene editing and stem cell technology to develop a cure. Momentum is everything. We can cure this. Every Eli, Mikey, and Tilly out there deserves to grow up and to live, deserves to fly. Help us heal EB.
Thank you so much, Eddie. Those affected with epidermolysis bullosa are often called butterfly children because their skin is as fragile as the wings of a butterfly. When I first learned about this disease, it was hard to grasp how it impacted even the simplest parts of a child's life. Putting on clothes, eating a favourite treat, or playing sports. All of these come with the risk of a painful injury and infection. But with the tireless work of scientists and researchers, like those at the University of South Australia, a cure is within reach. Let's meet them now.
I'm the Deputy Director of the Future Indices Institute at the University of South Australia, and I'm also the Professor of Regenerative Medicine, leading a team of researcher scientists. And what we're doing is developing new technologies, new therapeutics that will help patients with epidermolysis bullosa and give them a better quality of life.
I'm a Senior Research Fellow at the Regenerative Medicine Laboratory at the University of South Australia. We have a strong desire and passion to develop novel treatments for children with EB. Understanding what these patients go through really gives us a drive to work harder in the laboratory and translate some of our research findings towards the clinic.
There aren't many researchers in Australia that do the type of work that we're doing. One of the areas that we're working on is to develop a monoclonal antibody therapy that can be used to treat patients with EB. And what we mean by that is that we'll be able to inject this antibody and it will actually stimulate the body's healing response. And it requires a team of researchers to be able to actually do it effectively. EB is a disease that not many people have heard about, so trying to actually get funding to be able to make those game-changing new developments for something that people don't know anything about is incredibly challenging.
In the last 20 years, there's been an enormous progress across different avenues to develop treatments for EB. In the following 10 years, I hope that we will be able to progress that towards eventually having a cure.
We have been privileged to meet many patients with EB and have been so inspired by their bravery, by their courage, and was privileged to meet a young lady with EB called Kate. I met her when she was 16. We learned how she dealt with living with EB. Unfortunately, she passed away probably about 4 years ago now, and she was a big collector of porcelain pigs. And at her funeral, people who attended were allowed to take away one of her pigs. I have that pig on my desk, and I look at that pig regularly, and I think, what can we do to make sure that I don't forget Kate?
We certainly won't forget Kate or the 500,000 people now living with EB around the world. You can learn more and help us heal EB by visiting ebresearch.org.au. Coming up next, Chris Hemsworth with the inspiring story of a real-life superhero living with EB. Welcome back. I'm Rory Sloane with a very special episode of The Crows Show dedicated to epidermolysis bullosa. EB affects 500,000 people worldwide. It's an excruciating disease that causes blistering of the body's largest organ, the skin. But thanks to extraordinary efforts of researchers here in Australia and across the globe, a cure is within reach. And what's really cool is that the science behind curing EB will also give us a pathway to cures for thousands of other rare diseases like sickle cell anemia, Tay-Sachs and cystic fibrosis. Now I'd like to turn things over to Chris Hemsworth with a story of a young man that is sure to touch your hearts.
Hello everyone. I can't help but think about how much those living with EB can teach us. Lessons in humility, grace, and perhaps most of all, bravery. It's now my honour to introduce one of the bravest young men I've ever come across, John Hudson.
What makes a superhero? Is it a person with super strength, super speed, the power to save lives? Or is it simply the extraordinary courage to inspire others despite your own pain? John Hudson's origin story began 18 years ago in Staten Island. Born with recessive dystrophic EB, he has the equivalent of third-degree burns practically all over his body. If you've ever experienced a burn, you can imagine only the smallest fraction of his pain.
The pain is just... it's horrible.
An avid comic book fan, John Hudson is inspired by the stories of Doctor Strange, Wolverine and Spider-Man. None of them are perfect, but stories of transformation and redemption give him hope. But only now is John Hudson realising his own superpowers. Despite rarely leaving his room, he uses his voice to spread awareness and comfort others who may be struggling.
I like that you can take what you have and use it for good. It's my responsibility to help myself and others with EB.
John Hudson doesn't need a cape to touch lives around the world. With the support of his family, he has donated bandages to people fighting EB in Brazil, all the way to Vietnam. So how would John Hudson like his saga to unfold?
I want it to be a day where if there's a child born with EB, they won't have to live with it long enough to experience the things that I've experienced.
He's waiting for that moment in a story where he can annihilate EB. The moment where the gene therapy works and the first child becomes healed, and then the next until no more EB.
18 years ago when I was born, and there was absolutely nothing going on. To think that now that there's so many people helping, it's incredible.
Thanks to Chris for that story. John Hudson is such an incredible young man. Now, I'd like to introduce Sophia Carson to share a story that you won't want to miss.
Help us heal EB. Together we can and we will. That's the mission for everyone living with this disease, including our next hero, little Lila Scott. This is her story. Twirling on tippy toes, sailing down slides, and crushing that second scoop. Sometimes it's just the simple things that give us the greatest joy. But for this fierce 4-year-old, the simple things can also be her greatest challenge. A fearless fighter from day one, Lila Scott's skin was covered in sores as soon as she was placed into her mother's arms.
When Lila was born, within the first 24 hours, she had been to 3 different hospitals. We spent a week in hospital learning how to provide the care and wound management that Lila would require throughout her life.
For this little warrior, every day brings a struggle with ordinary things. Lila wears her clothes inside out because the rough seams can tear her skin, and with her tiny feet often red and raw, wearing shoes is nearly impossible.
She never likes us touching her feet, especially they're very sensitive for her, so it makes it hard for us to manage.
So comfort comes in the little piggies that she calls friends. Their playful snuggles offer affection and help to ease some of her stress.
It's definitely emotional, treating and managing her wounds, because living with EB is likened to third-degree burns, so it's very painful for her.
Supported by a team of doctors, they focus on relieving her pain and trying to prevent infection and scarring. With each passing day, her parents put on a brave face, hopeful that a cure is just a matter of time.
We're most hopeful that Lila will be able to grow up and live pain-free, not let EB define who she is or set limits for her.
But despite her pain, Lila radiates joy, courage, and an innocent optimism that we can each learn from.
What a truly inspiring story. If you'd like to learn more about EB and the work being done to find a cure, please go to ebresearch.org.au. Now, she's a role model, advocate and humanitarian. It's an honour to pass things over to Selena Gomez.
When I first heard about Mary Haddad, I was taken by her beauty, grace and strength. Mary had posted a quote that read, "When you have a rare disease, you face two battles. One being the illness itself, and the other is living in a world where so few people understand what you're up against." I know firsthand how scary and lonely it can be to face an illness, but I also know that when you surround yourself with people who understand you, the world can be a little less scary. It's my honor to share Mary's story and the hope that more people begin to understand her journey and that of all those living with EB. Mary Haddad was born with dystrophic EB. Growing up, her parents were anxious every time they'd touch her. They were worried that they would inflict pain on their beautiful little girl.
When I was a baby, there were so many challenges. My skin was so fragile that my parents couldn't even hold me. Doctors weren't expecting me to live for that too long, but surprisingly, I'm still here, so.
EB is tough no matter what, but for Mary, the challenges have been extreme.
2014 was a very tough year because that's the year I heard that I had skin cancer. My doctor's like, "Do you want to amputate your leg?" And when I heard that, I felt numb.
In a surgery that lasted 8 hours, Mary had her right leg amputated. But she never let bitterness steal her joy. Never let the things she couldn't do stop her from doing the things that she loved.
I got really into makeup when I had my amputation. I wanted something to occupy my mind with something else. It took me to a better place. I just think makeup gives me more confidence. It's art. I want to show people that even with my EB, I can still do things. If you believe in us and if we believe in ourselves.
For Mary, makeup isn't about covering anything up. It's about revealing something. Her courage and inner strength.
Well, my whole life I didn't fit in. Nowhere. I've learned over time, it's okay not to fit in. It's okay to be you, to be yourself, and it's okay if I'm rare, because no one else is like me.
Her artistry shows us that Mary is so much more than the rare disease. Mary is a rare human who can teach every one of us how to embrace positivity and life.
Our skin disorder, they call it the butterfly skin. No butterfly is alike. Every butterfly is different and so beautiful, and us humans are like that too. No matter what color or what background, you're you, you're rare, you're beautiful, and that's the most important thing.
Thank you to Selena and Mary for sharing that story of courage and bravery. To learn more, please go to ebresearch.org.au. Up next, Eddie Vedder shares a story of siblings who want to make the world a better place, one hello at a time. Welcome back. The Adelaide Crows pride ourselves on using our platform to unite people, bringing them together in sport and in community. For those living with epidermolysis bullosa, or EB, feeling connected can sometimes be a bit of a challenge. Here with a story of a brother and sister from San Diego, California, who are working to change that is Eddie Vedder.
Adversity, you know, that's where heroes come from, and they come in all shapes and sizes, obviously. And, you know, didn't set out to be one, but they are now.
My name is Eli Meyer. I am 6 years old. I'm just a regular kid, but I have epidermolysis bullosa. You can call it EB. It's easier. EB is a rare condition. Sometimes it hurts.
Eli was adopted from China when he is 4 years old.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Aha!
Our family knew he had EB, but that didn't make a difference. Eli is a superhero to me. It makes me sad when people stare or point at him, and sometimes they can say things that are really hurtful.
I tell people I was born different, but we are all born different, and that's great. We can all learn from each other.
We want people to know if someone looks different than you, instead of staring, they should come say hi. I hope that when people see our shirts, they'll take a minute to stop and learn more about Eli and EB. I think if we all come say hi, we can do a lot of good things together.
I want to teach you about EB.
EB?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You guys have a wonderful day.
You too.
The more we understand each other, the better the world will be. Some people say my skin is like the wings of the butterfly because it can break easily. Butterfly wings are fragile, but they also help them fly. I may have EB, but I'm going to keep on flying.
Eli is amazing. For him to have this idea and let people know that it's okay when you see someone different, it's a huge thing, and it's very courageous. When you see the intense pain that these kids go through, the baths and the bandages, and it's about as hard a thing to watch as anything I've ever witnessed in my life. This is a big mountain that they have to climb every day, and it's hard not to want to dedicate a large portion of your life to doing whatever you can to help. A simple, small word like that, you know, 2 letters, it can smash down barriers. So me and Eli want you to come say hi. Join us at ebresearch.org. Please, thank you.
Thank you so much for that, and hello to Eli and Lily. If you are watching, please know how much you have inspired me. Over the last half hour, we have learned about EB and the devastating impact it has on those living with it around the world. For the brilliant doctors and researchers finding a cure, it's not an if, it is a when. It is within reach, but they can't do it without funding. If you feel inspired to learn more or to donate, please go to ebresearch.org.au. I'm Rory Sloane, and thanks for watching, and let's heal EB.